Good morning.
I have naked stupid person story today.
What
I'm lead with it.
What would the Great Northern Sex Cast be without either robots or naked stupid person?
Well,
I think there was a third thing. Oh, things in your butt that are not supposed to be in your... Yeah.
Those are our top
three. Yeah.
To come to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So how are you?
Doing good.
Yeah, you sound perky today.
It's been... I don't know why. Everything fucking hurts.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that as I laugh.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's terrible. Well, I am, as usual, I did find something that's a little more unique for this week, so we'll dive into that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is, yeah, I found a bunch of stuff. I mean, it just, it never ceases, it never stops. I mean,
well, I can just imagine, I know what my search engine looks like mm-hmm. and things that pop up because of it after this many years, but the different, folks that you work with are such just, it must be just multiple personality land in your search.
Oh, my browser cache is hysterical. Mm-hmm. I mean, it goes from, small cap business indices to things in your butt that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I know, stuff like that just cracks me up.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Well, let's begin with the sex doll.
The sex doll. Okay,
this isn't a robot though.
Not a robot. Okay.
No. Okay, so it's not quite our thing. But
mm-hmm.
Did you have?
I just find all the time that it's when sex dolls are just popping up on the sidebar of one's face. I'm slightly exaggerating, but they're just showing up more and more on that. I'm just like, what did she find? Is this the one with the really big? Is this the guy one?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the most recent one that flew across my eyeballs. Yeah. Not the actual thing, but the image screen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is a company called Synthetics, S-I-N, Thetics. Okay. Now, once again, Colleen, I would like to highlight a cultural issue that we have touched upon many times over the years. Mm-hmm. That is the fact that the female sex dolls start at $5,750 and the males start at $5,900. Once again, it costs more to be a girl.
Of course. I wonder if there's more holes. And interchangeable parts. But they also know, actually this time though, it's mostly men that are buying the dolls.
True.
But yeah.
Volume discount maybe? Cheaper to make because they sell more?
I don't know.
Yeah, so these particular dolls can be made to look like people, and they just have to agree to go get scanned so the company can make a cast of their body. Mm-hmm. And these dolls do not stand up unsupported, but they do have, of course, movable joints for position variety.
I know. I was looking at, I think this is the same story going through. The person who took the photographs of the doll is not used to photographing men, whether real or fake, because the poses were what you would put a female in. They're more traditional things. It was with on their knees, arched back, looking over the shoulder. It looked like I'm like they did not choose someone to photo. I mean, it was striking how to see that.
And you know what? So many people would not have noticed that.
And I also noticed amazing feet. They put really good feet and really good hands.
Really?
And so I'm like, it's this whole thing. They're showing there's a dick and all this other stuff. And I'm like, look at those feet. I don't have a foot fetish, but these are excellent. These are excellent feet.
Well, and I can see why you'd notice that because let's just face it, a lot of guys have crusty looking feet.
Okay, a little PSA here, you guys, and women too. Taking care of your feet is actually insanely important. Okay? My dad dropped bricks on his feet when he worked in a brickyard as a kid, and he had horrible ingrown toenails, was always in pain, and was too chicken to go get them taken care of. Oh. So go get them taken care of, because there were things he didn't do because his feet hurt.
Oh, really?
And it could have been taken care of, but he was such a weenie when it came to any sort of little needles or blades. I mean, a lot of people are. I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
But you don't want to have the ingrown tails. You want to have, you don't want to have people get off their food if you walk in wearing sandals in the summer with your grubby feet.
Right.
I mean, and they do a lot for you.
Feet have an incredibly difficult job.
And so taking care of them is not. I know a lot of people think, it's like a pedicure is too feminine or something. No. You can either go and get a decent pedicure somewhere, or you can spend thousands of dollars out of your deductible to go have a podiatrist take care of it.
Right.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nicely put. Mm-hmm. So, just by way of wrapping up the synthetics story about the sex dolls, there's excerpts from the website with kind of instructions. And it talks about the legs can be lifted 90 degrees to the front. The thighs can be pushed apart and together, but they may not hold a position if the weight of the silicone is pressing back to its relaxed posture. I mean, it gives you detailed instruction. But here's the hilarious thing.
Okay.
To avoid breaking it, it says if the mannequin is resisting a position, do not force it. And I'm like, oh my God, we have to get consent with the dolls now too. No means no.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, that was so funny. And
I'm pretty sure that there's probably there's probably some sort of repair or place you could do that, but don't break the toys.
No,
don't break it. Yeah.
And the last one, I'm sorry that I'll move on.
Oh, okay, no, that's fine.
Treat your mannequin as you would treat a real woman. Do not strongly knead the breasts or pull them, as this could cause rips or tears. And I would like to thank them for that, because what woman do you know outside of BDSM likes her nipples yanked?
Yeah.
And guys think that's just a blast.
It was such a boob fetish. I think that's why people are so freaked out by breastfeeding, because I can't separate the two.
Yeah.
It's going through there.
Which is...
I could have had a shot of breastfeeding. You can, if you just take a few hormones and start pumping, I could have as an adoptive mother.
Really?
Yeah, you can do that. I was, because I remember the first day, they're like, what are some things you don't get to do if you don't have the baby yourself? And I said, breastfeeding. Like, no, you can do that. I'm like, that's something I learned now 20 years ago.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that and the fact that the milk comes out in a whole bunch of different holes. Learned that when my first friend had her kid. You don't think about it. I mean, it's my own body. I have them. I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, I didn't know that till I was 25. Let's put it that way.
Okay, well there you go. Mm-hmm. So there's a funny, and we're going to post to the article on the Great Northern Sex Cast page. I'm not going to hit all of them, but there were sex with stranger confessions, and some of the stories are just hilarious. But the theme is don't know their name. Don't want to know their name. No. And I it's a fond memory is the theme.
It is not. Yeah, it just anonymous sex or one night stand. There's nothing inherently wrong with the concept,
right?
As long as as long as you feel safe, is going through there. But I could, there's I forgot a few names, and I'm okay with not remembering.
One guy though.
Oh, geez.
There's a couple of really funny notes, but this one guy was trying to take the bus. This happened in London. He was, been out drinking, and he was trying to get on the bus, and these two girls were equally loopy, and they said, "Come home with us." So they went and had this threesome. He goes, woke up the next morning, buck naked on the floor with a condom stuck to my leg. That's a walk of shame. And he said they were still asleep, so I just snuck out and couldn't wipe the fucking smile off my face all day. Yeah. At least he thought to do the condom.
See, very smart. Very smart.
I like that. Another one is about a wedding where, with huge wedding with 6 of each. Mm-hmm. And one of the bridesmaids got into the elevator with the groomsmen at the night of the rehearsal dinner and said, "I didn't book a hotel, so who am I sleeping with?" And that ended well for everybody involved. So,
that's awfully presumptuous. That you'd be able to find some place to crash.
Well, he indicated she was hot, so
yeah. I'm gonna go with she's done that more than one time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the last one, and then we'll talk about something else for a second. But this one tickled me. This guy says, this person rather says, I was fifth wheeling at a comic convention with 2 friendly couples, and I got annoyed with them making out. So I grabbed a random guy passing by and started making out with him. We got super into it and banged in the toilet. I've never seen him again. Have no idea what his name was. Plot twist, I'm gay. So he thought right. I mean, his gaydar was good, apparently. So I mean, it's a super fun read.
Oh, it's nice. There's a lot of really awful things out there, and I have no problem, having real information, but then having just a nice smile and a giggle. Although today is going to be filled with lots of giggles because we've got a concert coming up and for my kid, and she's actually gonna practice in primary school through there, and we're gonna go through, and she's just gonna, and I'm like, I need something good. And I asked my kid I said, "Will you bring home your instrument and show me what you're doing, or do with things going on and stuff like that?" Because there's not enough fluffy stuff in today's news.
Right.
I had to ask my kid to to bring home her music because she knew it would make me happy.
Well, and is she good at it?
Yeah, she is. But she doesn't like to play unless it's in a big group because otherwise it gets too embarrassing. Okay. But so I understand not everything has to be serious.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, me too. Absolutely. So this is a thread that is very, very interesting, and there's this one place that I like to go because they do have better conversations than I've found on chat rooms stateside. This one's in Britain, and it's for moms. It's called Mumsnet.
Yep.
And
I've wandered on there and poked around and went, people really just need to know that they're not alone, don't they?
I think so. For sure. Well, this one got more than 600 replies to it. And long story short, she went there to talk about an unspeakably rude text message she received from a man she'd had sex with. And basically, she was looking for an appropriate response. And the guy, I mean, it's very long, but he starts out, this is horrible for me and for you, and it could well sour things, and I would hate myself if it did. But I have to be honest. I said you are not my normal type physically, and that is very true. I'm very attracted to slim women. I can't help it and have tried before with it not getting very far. So basically, he's like saying, could you lose weight? I'd be willing to consider ... She's 5'9" and she's a size 12. That's not a fat person.
No. This person, the person writing this has a severe issue with women's bodies.
Yeah. And I mean, needless to say, women wrote back, what a creep, block him, cringy message, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it goes on and on. And
this would be an excellent time for a quick message that says, fuck off and die, and then ghosting.
Yeah.
There's no point. I'm wondering if there's a technique, in picking up women or whatever, is to we've talked about it, where you give a compliment but it's not quite a compliment, or I mean, obviously this person's your instrument. You're interested, but here's something there, and so the person tries harder because their brain's wired one way or another.
Yes.
This seems like an extreme version of that, and I'm sure there's people screaming if they're listening to this what the hell it's called.
Shadowing, but that's not quite right.
But yeah, but it is a horrible pickup technique that people will, use or something.
Yeah, it'll come to me later.
Yeah.
Right? But if we remember, we'll talk about it next week. This is really unbelievable, and I am astounded that in 3 years of doing this show with you, I have never encountered this before, and that's hard to do.
Well, right? last week we had the disappearing balls, so that was right. That was fairly shot. That was new.
This one is there's ratings forums out there for sex workers. Okay, like the Yelp, only maybe it would be like. I don't know. The groan. Yeah. Anyway, there's this whole article about it, and this practice of reviewing escorts is getting more and more common. And here's the thing. Women are mocked and insulted about all sorts of different things. They end up getting blackmailed to sleep with them, or they'll leave a crappy review. It's getting really out of control, and people blackmailing them for like a cheaper fee, saying, or else I'm going to go on and write really bad stuff, and I'm going to drive all your customers away.
Well, I would think, like any other review site, you got to take something with a grain of salt. I mean, but if it's not like, I mean, Yelp, you've got reviews, and then of course Yelp has their paid site, and and different things. You could that's just.
Well, that was my first notion, Colleen. It's the same way you talk about how you deal with reviews. Like, you try to do a reply and, something nice and whatever. But this in one hand, you could say they're all just nuts, and the people that go in there are obviously, jerks. But they are saying that it does have an impact.
In fact.
Some of them are getting higher ratings because they have free nearby parking. Wherever that they, it's just really kind of crazy. So I suppose.
Any it shows once again that sex work is work.
Yeah.
And this you're going through there. The same thing as, one person, there's been plenty of court cases where someone sued to get a Yelp review, removed, saying that it wasn't, honest, or it's just libel or something like that. And most of them are in California. They must have some different rules or something like that.
Yeah.
I know a dentist or a doctor or someone lawyer, obviously, the human ability to mess with another human, the laws never it keeps growing faster than the laws can deal with it.
For sure. One compelling excerpt from this talked about raped for a good review. And she said, there's nothing stopping anyone from fabricating a bad review, be it out of boredom or out of spite. And she says, like, for example, if a client has a chip on his shoulder because a sex worker has declined, for instance, anal, and when maybe she's agreed to do it in the past, then the client can easily say, well, if we don't do anal, I'll write a bad review, which puts the already vulnerable sex worker in a difficult position. Say no and bye-bye to your business, or yes and be raped for a review. So that was kind of compelling to me.
Yeah. And it's not like they can, not like you can go to court for something that you're doing is going through there.
That's the other thing. Once again, another sort of potential argument for legalization of certain things. This was funny.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. So I'm an Amazon whore. I'll go on Amazon and buy stuff.
I rarely do. I get a few things for the office. That's where we get our tiny little watch batteries that we need for stuff. And if I later on, the automatic flusher on the men's toilet in my office broke, so I've got to get a new one. And I was sort of searching around. I was going through there, but for the most part, I don't live that far away from things, so to and from work I can get anything I need or go shopping, and it's sort of like my happy place.
Well, I don't for therapy.
Yeah, and I do cooking, stuff like that. I couldn't imagine. I could maybe have, I don't know. I want to see my food. I want to wear my clothes. My brain's wired that way. I'm sure that by the time I have grandchildren, that they might have a Star Trek thing where they just rearranges molecules in your house and you get your thing of Pine Sol or whatever the hell it is you need. I don't even use that brand. Where the hell did that come from?
That was non-sequitur.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Is it? So I'm just not sure. And also there's that whole Goliath thing about David and Goliath. It's too big. I try and give my money to other folks.
Well, yes, but I've had to go online for a few things lately.
Oh yeah,
one of them was furnace filters. I can't buy the filters for my furnace, which, by the way, is 9 years old. Oh,
I have to buy the water filters for the fridge here at the office. I can't find them at Home Depot, Menards, and I think it's a Frigidaire or something. They've created their own brand of water filters that are only available online.
Yeah, that shit sucks. That stuff sucks.
Yeah.
Well, Amazon, then you'll be delighted to know that this woman was looking for water filters. Ironically, that you bring this
okay.
up.
Oh.
I swear to God, I think sometimes you have like ESP. It's like you sense what's coming and you just blurt it out.
Well, it's one of the last things I was forced to buy. Other than this, next week, if we have a story about automatic urinals, then I'll know that someone's going through that.
Yeah, basically, she was looking for water filters, and the copy on the site was right, but the picture was of sex toys. And she said, she put it on Twitter, and she goes, I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that these aren't water filters. # Amazon fail. Everybody thought that stuff was funny. And, and so Amazon got involved and, talked to her. and they said they took care of it, but she says just for fun she's been checking, and they're still out there. I thought that was kind of fun.
I found, speaking of, someone posted something. There's a whole genre of literature now that I did not know existed. It's called reverse harem.
What?
Someone I looked it up. Someone posted it. You can find it on Amazon, different places. I don't know if it's stuff in print or it's just audio or whatever, or just, but it's reverse. So it's like one woman and a lot of different guys. One was like a Viking queen, and she's got all her Vikings. Another one was like the woman earns her money by by living with 8 lumberjacks, and then they describe all. So it's called. And so I just typed in reverse harem genre, and plenty of these things popped up.
Really?
Like this, and the reviews on these are hilarious.
Really?
I'm sure they are all poorly written, but obviously it's going to be page after page of sex.
Why wouldn't it be?
But I'm like, reverse harem. There's a genre and that I've never heard of before, and it totally cracked me up. So you just go to Amazon and type in like reverse harem, and I bet you anything, a bunch of different books pop up. It was hilarious. I'm assuming the Viking Queen one would probably sell really well in Minnesota.
Oh, I would.
That was right underneath the lumberjack one, and there's a couple other ones, and I'm just like, this is a thing. Okay.
Well, thank you for that.
Yes. So if you I think this is going to be a little bit steamier than a Harlequin romance.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Talking lipstick vibrator, the Vibe Ease, coming soon.
Oh, we've already had vibrating lipsticks. What the hell is this person doing?
Well, this one's a little different. It was inspired by it's an AI vibrator inspired by the 2013 movie Her, where Joaquin Phoenix falls in love with his computer.
Mm-hmm.
That?
Yep.
So this, you connect to your phone. Users can activate the voice-controlled virtual partner who responds to demands like harder and softer for the ultimate hands-free experience.
Mm-hmm.
Can be synced with your favorite erotic audiobooks. And also, there's a bunch of stories on their app that you can...
Okay, so why is everyone always so concerned about hands-free?
I thought sex was kind of... Hands was part of the whole thing.
I'm sorry. I mean, honestly, I'm wearing 2 wrist braces right now, so maybe hands-free would be handy for me. I'm not sure. But still, everything's all about hands. I suppose, especially if you're masturbating or doing like that, if you're maybe with someone else, you want to grab some thighs or shoulders or run your fingers through someone's hair. Maybe, you don't want to be dealing with it. But for the most part, I've never understood why that is such a big deal. Hands-free. What the hell are your hands doing?
Well,
they shouldn't. Yeah.
I always thought hands were necessary.
Yeah. Okay. Just checking.
No.
I'm sorry. This is the part that stuck out to me today.
Prescient point.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chat feature, so if you're in a long distance relationship, you can, do all that.
Well, I suppose if you didn't have use of your arms, you would want something that worked. Okay. Sorry. Just. Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for this week's stupid drunk story?
Oh, definitely. Okay.
This happened in Sochi, Russia.
Oh no. We don't nearly have enough drunk, stupid Russian stories.
I know, which is kind of astounding when you think about it.
The per capita booze consumption there it's not made up. You can Google it. They drink a lot.
And if you put your fur hat on your head, that keeps you can be naked because that keeps the heat in the body. I've tried on some of those fur hats, and they're just too warm. I mean, I understand why they exist. Oh, yeah.
Fur is really warm. And then it just looks silly. I think, do you have to, live, in Finland, Norway, Sweden, Russia, Upper Mongolia? I think that's really the only place. Unless you're there, I don't think you need a big fur hat.
Well, there might be a day or two in Minnesota that you could...
I know.
Probably make a solid argument for one.
I do have one of my dad's. So ever seen lamb fur that sort of looks like brains?
Yeah.
My dad has one of those hats from years ago, and I kept that. I haven't actually worn it because his head and my head comes down sort of over my eyes. Now that I have short hair. Okay, I am tangent woman today. What the hell? I'm just wandering. Oh my God.
Actually.
Okay.
So this guy was half naked and he passed out while riding a donkey down a busy promenade in front of other tourists. So He's hotly pursued by 2 beach cops who are seen giggling as they try to ensure he doesn't fall off the donkey. And one of the female officers who's trying to keep up with the donkey, and it says it's portly passenger, is then seen turning away and just bursting into laughter. And it's a viral video, so you can go out and look for this drunk fat guy on donkey.
See, it's the on donkey thing that's really sort of entertaining, you know.
Yeah, it would have been half as funny without the
donkey. No, maybe, you know, like.
And how did even though feel? I mean, did the donkey consent to this?
Mm-hmm. That's yeah, and at least it sounds like the you know, for in exposure issues. I mean, as in health exposure, not obviously there was exposure issues, but I just. You know, once again, they probably deal. You know, if you had to choose your day, okay, there's someone. I get to pursue the drunk guy on a donkey as an officer, or I get to go over to violence, or something, or find a body frozen in some ice. You know, I take the drunk guy on the donkey.
I would too.
You know,
we'll talk about it for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah, there's. Yeah, and the thing is everything. Everything is filmed nowadays.
I know. I know.
And I'm just like I mean, I tried to, you know, and I don't understand how people do it. I mean, I try and film things, but like if my cats do, I mean, there's all these cute cat videos out there, and I have adorable cats, by the way. And I try and get video of them doing cute things, but by the time I'm pressing, I mean, do people just follow? I mean, do they just have their cameras on all the time?
I know, because you know what? Most of the time, I don't. That's a really good point. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I mean, a donkey probably wasn't going too fast. I'm sure you could, you know, whip out.
I don't know. A donkey running at warp speed.
Yeah. So yeah, there's probably that. But I don't understand. You know, how some of this stuff exists. How someone is that good at getting their phone, you know, right, and hitting on it, and the security, and hitting the camera, or swiping. I don't know. I mean, I'm old.
Oh my God. Okay. That's a really good point, though. Mm-hmm. So, what your personality reveals, or what personality types are prone to what sexual fantasies?
Okay.
Now, this was, I think this was done in Sweden. 4,000 people.
Okay, not a small amount. It's not like they wandered into a random college class and did this. Mm-hmm.
I beg your pardon. This was done here in the U.S.
Oh,
age ranges were 18 to 87.
Okay,
covering a variety of backgrounds and sexual orientations.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had to describe their favorite fantasy in their own words, as well as answer nearly 400 questions.
So the massive MMPI question here, which is really this. I've taken that, when I had to go through the whole adoption process, it was hilarious because I realized there's only about 4 questions asked, 100 ways each.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
I was, by the way, in case I'm completely and utterly ordinary.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Beyond utterly. So whenever anyone says, I said, no, I'm ordinary. I've got it on paper. I should have come up defensive because I should have been pissed that I had to do this to get a kid when, but no, no, I'm utterly ordinary. Mm.
Well, your daughter isn't.
No.
She's a peach. So if you're somebody who's neurotic, very stressed or anxious usually, those people hands down fantasize about romantic, passionate, relaxing experiences. Isn't that funny?
So they want to do it on a hammock while listening to the waves.
Right.
Okay.
Neurotics fantasize less about group sex and trying new things than any other group.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They want no surprises.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. People pleasers, agreeable people, fantasize about mutual pleasure. So they also have far fewer fantasies about emotionless or taboo sex. Mm-hmm. That makes sense, right? Okay. Now, adventurous people, the adrenaline junkies of the world, tend to be curious and imaginative. So they're very wild, and they do, they fantasize about everything from conventional to sexual taboos. Detail-oriented, conscientious folks, they pay more attention to the settings. They give way more detail to everything else
that's around them. So
that interesting?
That's probably those must be the people who design sets for TV and movie sex, because nobody actually lights that many fucking candles ever. You ever seen a bathroom that's covered in
how long did I always think, how long would it friggin' take
to light them all? And then by the time you lit one, and then the other one's going through there, and then you got the smoke smudge on the wall because they're always. I'm like, I see that.
You're so practical. It's painful.
I know.
Oh my God.
But it takes me right out of the, hey, this is supposed to be romantic or sexy, or even scary.
Fire.
Because I'm like, nobody set this up, and it's always like in some hotel room, or it's by surprise. Because, if you go to my house right now, you're not finding a closet full of sexy candles. I do have an aim and flame thing, so I could light things pretty fast. One of the little butane lighters. I call it aim and flame.
Okay.
It's not like I'm walking around with a little pack of matches burning my and stuff like that. And then there's always around the tub. I mean, you got to splash water all over the place.
How do you get in the tub without burning your pubes?
It's hilarious because it's like surrounding the tub. I'm like, how does this work? You never see the box of matches anywhere. You never see the 2 hours it took to unwrap all the cellophane off the candles and put them around the room. I'm just...
Well, and once you got those candles lit, like how long before you go get the other person? I mean, it's just logistically problematic.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have an entire staff of set dressers to do this, because there's good. But it's the one little entertainment. Is it trope? TROPE or whatever? That I look at that and go, that is no one does that. No, you might light a few. Maybe if he was like that, but those sets, and then the pedals from the door and all that sort of stuff. These are obviously people without animals.
Okay, true. Okay, you have a problem that I suffer from, and you have theater experience, as do I, which is called willing suspense of disbelief. I know.
I can sometimes.
I can, but when I can't, I can't.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing. Like, I don't go to movies in the theater very often at all because I feel trapped, and I have this terrible habit of editing the film while I'm watching it, going, we didn't need that scene. We didn't need, you know what I mean? It's like, this could have been 25 minutes shorter, and if they would have, but it's terrible.
Well, do you do the thing now if you watch an old movie and you realize that if cell phones had existed, the movie wouldn't have that movie would be over in 5 minutes?
Yes, because we could have called 911.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, or you could have, the misunderstanding could have been taken care of really fast.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
I'm sorry. Okay, so extroverts, they what?
We've been doing this sort of in advance, so today happens to be Halloween, but we won't go on till next week. We were trying to, always do that, so in case one of us, especially me if I'm sick. But Megan just trounced by in her Halloween costume with skeleton wings, and there was a bounce, and the wings were flapping, and it was just adorable.
Well, Megan's hysterical, and this is kind of her time of year. She loves it. I want to see her before I go. So extroverts, they like social sexual fantasies, threesomes, and consensual open relationships. Less likely to fantasize, though, the extroverts about taboo sex, which some people would put threesomes in that, but whatever. Introverts were most likely to dream about taboo sex. Interesting, huh?
Yeah, it's just just everything's inside.
Yeah.
And you're introverts, so you're not chatting about it with folks, so you get to fantasize about it.
Yeah. Okay, this was the study that took place in Sweden.
Oh, okay.
In the Netherlands and Dutch.
Okay, that chunk of the world.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. This absolutely cracks me up. Socks for sex. Okay. Basically, and once again, how they decided to do this, I have no idea. But the female orgasm may have a reputation for being elusive, but scientists are trying to figure out, how we can increase the chances of orgasm. And this research showed that ladies that wear socks increase their ability to have an orgasm.
Like wear socks during sex, or just in general?
Yeah, socks have always been, teased, billed as kind of a turnoff. Take off your socks, blah, blah, blah. But Dutch research has found that wearing them during sex makes women more likely to have an orgasm. They found they did without socks. they found that half of the women studied were able to climax during intercourse barefoot, but when they donned socks, that group, the number increased to 80%.
It had to be because they were so distracted by the socks that maybe they weren't uptight about other things. Because there is nothing dumber than socks. And just wearing socks.
They actually said in this article,
hate socks.
Women are more likely to orgasm when they feel safe and relaxed, and cold toes stops them from feeling either.
We don't do sex yet. Until we need sex socks.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell Tara to get sex socks in.
Yeah.
There's another movie trope there with the doofus guy, naked except for socks. In fact, I think the TV show from the 90s in Britain called Coupling did a whole episode on that moment where while you're getting undressed, do you get the socks on? Do you get the socks off? And then you're stuck in the socks. It is
pretty funny.
It was funnier than hell.
British comedy.
Yeah, but there was a whole episode on the socks during sex. And I'm just, it was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's so relatable, right? Mm-hmm. We hear tales of broken penises periodically. Now we have a broken vagina.
Okay, a vagina or like the what part? Just the actual because
Well, let me tell you because I wondered that too. Long story. This person, new divorcee, got the infamous vibrator made famous by Sex and the City, which was the Rampant Rabbit one, and became obsessed with it, just like Charlotte did in that famous episode. And she was using it 6 times a day, which averaged 42 times a week. And she was having pelvic pain, went to the doctor, no STI, whatever. And then after being asked a series of questions, they realized that she had been overusing the vibrator. And
so she bruised her tissues.
Pretty much. Equal parts embarrassing and hilarious, she said.
You can masturbate just outie. Nothing has to go in. Mm-hmm. We sell an awful lot of just outie vibes. All the little bullets, all that sort of stuff. Really? Just a little extra zing, because it. Oh, yeah, you can't. I remember Dr. Markey saying that when we were talking. Oh, God, probably about a year ago, that sometimes people do use the vibrators too much, and they think an orgasm should happen faster with their partner because their body's been trained to have a really, quick one.
Yeah.
And, she obviously was doing a little bit of overtraining.
Yeah. Oh. We're going to post this on the Great Northern Sexcast Facebook page. It's a very interesting interview with Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, I saw. She's a reluctant Me Tooer because she doesn't consider. People are. She's like, but this was all consensual. This is my job,
right?
And so yeah.
She has a very interesting. I'm going to jump to the end. She gives some details. She said she didn't even think about it for 10 years, and then it came out before she knew. She said it just was a non-event basically, and then there's a very interesting part where she makes a statement in response to owning the porn aspect of what she does, and she says, "Well, when you feel that you have this kind of power, do you feel any obligation to use it in a particular way?" Here's Stormy's answer. She said, "I don't think I necessarily try to help women. I just try to help people. I'm not a feminist." And then they say, "You're not?" She said, "No." And she goes, "No, because I just don't think that it should matter." And then,
yeah, well, I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
But we talked about labels before. You need labels until you don't need them. Mm-hmm. And you still need that. She's perfectly right. There should be no reason for the word if people are actually treated as equal humans.
Yep.
But women are not.
Yeah. And she says, what's between somebody's legs shouldn't matter. I used to be really annoyed when people would be like, "Oh, Stormy Daniels is the best female director," and I'd be like, "What does my vagina have to do with it? She didn't direct shit." So it's pretty interesting. But read the article because, I haven't really seen her say much in public. It's always been her lawyer speaking, and it was just. it was just a very interesting story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. What's it is that she used to book clubs because you make a lot of money dancing in the clubs.
Yes,
and then they wouldn't book. And now there's a lot of women going to the shows because they're holding her up as some sort of icon. And she's like, I had sex with this guy. It came out. I wasn't even thinking about it. You know, it's going through there.
Yeah.
The cover, you know, that part is not interesting to her in the least.
No.
But if you do, you know, but if someone's, you know, but she's not going to, like, she's going to fight back if the smoke's being made for her. But as long as she's still, you know, she's still making money, she doesn't care who the tips come from because it's a job.
Right. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I forgot, but yes, we have two stupid naked stories. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's drunk in this one. This happened in Canada. A Canadian man wanted by police has been arrested. 37-year-old David Weaver of British Columbia was arrested in Thunder Bay 4 days after he shocked witnesses at Ripley's Aquarium of Canada by stripping down and jumping into its 766,000-gallon dangerous lagoon shark tank. Just let that sit there for a minute. Where the sharks that bite people and eat you are.
Why would there even be? Why would someone even have access to? Maybe it's one of those really large pools. You can walk around the top of it or something.
Perhaps.
Because almost everything I've seen is you sort of walk down and there's a whole bunch of glass in front of you. Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah.
Disney World though, the manatee tank, I suppose you could leave in. Okay,
Yeah. But this man, after being arrested for naked shark tank skinny dipping, was also wanted in connection with an assault outside of a medieval times restaurant about 2 hours prior. So he was on the lam. So he decided to get naked and jump and swim with the sharks.
It sounds like possibly may not have been drunk, but I have a feeling he was probably on something. These are not.
A witness said she heard the splash, looked over, appeared to be totally nude and laughing. And she said, I don't know what would possess somebody to do this. It's insane. I was scared I was going to witness the death of this guy.
Yeah, the thing is that the sharks don't really attack unless they're hungry. And since they're well fed, you know, you generally don't get, you know, the animals attacking that way. But in medieval times...
Yeah, why would you be in, you know...
I mean, what possesses you to be out, you know, because we don't know. They said outside of medieval times. Right. Was he inside and not like his turkey leg?
Unclear.
And then he decided my turkey leg sucked, and so I'm going to go throw myself in a shark tank?
Yeah.
I mean, there's...
And what role does the jousting play in all of this?
I don't... I know jousters. It's not an easy job.
No. It looks really hard and highly unpleasant. Mm-hmm. I don't even like to watch it, quite honestly. I worry about the horses. I worry about the people. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they practice like crazy. They're stuntmen, stuntwomen, all that sort of stuff. I get that, but it's still... horses, I mean, I was never one of those kids that loved horses as a little girl. I was like, I was tiny, and they were big, and that's all you know. Mm-hmm. No, I did not have my young girl horse, fantasy. No, fascination. No, This is kind of fun. This is pretty cool. It's sad, but it turned out, I love the way this gal turned this thing around. A woman whose engagement broke before her wedding left her with a non-refundable venue. And so, and it was like a $3,500 venue and decorations, okay? Mm-hmm. Which is not, small change. So she decided to give the space away free to another couple. So she went to Facebook and announced the whole thing and said that they had to be ready to get married on that date, and it was that Saturday coming up. It was October 14th. And she said, share the post to get as many responses as possible. And she put the names of all the people who reached out in a hat and pulled a name out of a girl named Haley Hibscher. And she was able to hand it over, and this other gal got some other stuff donated and all of that. Isn't that cute?
Oh, this is, I mean, It happens a lot. You know, they'll still have the party. The food's been paid for. I know I heard of one bride or one group, whenever it didn't work out, they just donate. They just brought all the food over to a homeless shelter. I mean, I just, you put, at least it happened before you got married.
Yeah.
I felt, I'm going through there. I mean, no matter how painful it is, it can't be as painful as immediately knowing that a mistake's been made and then you got to figure out a divorce.
Yeah, and that's definitely not fun.
But another bride, though, I like the twist on that. Were you thinking about getting married? Maybe someone was like ready to elope.
Yeah.
They were just gonna like go down, City Hall or Chesapeake and just take care of it. And they could, hell no, we'll have a party.
I think that's a really good Juju story. So good on her. Well, that's pretty much it. So we got a naked dude swimming with sharks. We got a half naked guy on a donkey in Russia. I'm happy.
I really do like the donkey story. It's a donkey. I love that.
What an ass.